Coming up, Nebraska's midterm elections are fast approaching. Learn why it's important to get that vote in.
Then hear how UNO basketball plans to improve their defense before they hit the court this season.
Finally, a local clothing store offers high-end looks and improves the environmental cost of clothing waste.
All this and more on the Omaha News.
Good afternoon. I'm Austin Ulmer.
And I'm Addison Parr. The midterm election day is next Tuesday in Omaha. We joined reporter Madison live to tell us more about why it is important for everyone eligible to cast a vote on Tuesday.
Thanks, Addison. Over 50% of eligible voters won't vote in this upcoming midterm election. With many open seats on the ballot, it's important for every Nebraskan to get out to the ballots and vote this year. This year is a very important midterm election year in Nebraska. All 3 seats for the House of Representatives, Governor, Secretary of State, Attorney General, and many seats in the Nebraska Legislature are up for election. Many other local elections, including Douglas County Attorney, Sheriff, and Treasurer, are also being held this year. According to the Pew Research Center, presidential elections have a 50 to 60% voter turnout rate, while the midterm elections only bring in 40% of eligible voters. Douglas County Election Commissioner Brian Cruz says there's a lot of reasons to vote, not only in the midterm elections, but every election.
So it's always important to have voters have their voice heard. You know, midterm elections are just as important as presidential or city elections.
Low voter turnout during the midterm elections can lead to non-representative groups of Americans making decisions about education, housing, criminal justice, policing, and minimum wage. UNO Political Science Associate Professor Gregory Petro says when fewer people vote in elections, it means not all Americans are being represented.
When fewer people vote in elections, that tends to mean that certain kinds of people are voting more and other kinds of people are voting less.
Election day is just under a week away, and for Douglas County residents, there are 3 ways to vote. Request a mail-in ballot, vote early at the Douglas County Election Commission office, and in-person voting at your polling location on November 8th. I'm joined with Election Commissioner Brian Cruz to ask him a few questions about the upcoming election. Our first question is, what do you think the rate of voter turnout will be for this upcoming midterm election?
Sure. So I made my official prediction this morning. So I'm thinking about 57% countywide. It was 57% last time. Back in 2014, it was in the 40s, and it was in the 40s before that. So we're looking for a good, strong, healthy turnout this time.
How has the early voting been going here at the Election Commission office?
As you can see, we're fairly busy today. You know, between early voting by mail and early voting in person, we've mailed out or given out over 101,000 ballots. We've got about 68,000 of those still outstanding. So if you've got one of those ballots, remember to sign the back of that envelope and turn those into one of our drop boxes. And as soon as you're ready to do that, turn them in. We're working this weekend. We'll be waiting for those ballots to come in.
And if you're planning on voting in person, you can find your polling location at votedouglascounty.com, or you can still come in here and vote early in the Election Commission office. Back to you in the studio.
Deputy Assistant Secretary of State and Special Representative for Afghanistan, Thomas West, spoke at an event hosted by UNO's Center for Afghan Studies yesterday. He discusses a wide range of topics, from the international effort to help stabilize the Afghan economy to the state of human rights in the country. Deputy Secretary West says that he regularly speaks with Taliban officials on the phone. He has met with representatives from the group in person about 15 times since the Taliban takeover in August of last year.
At these meetings, we are blunt about our concerns regarding human rights, and particularly their subjugation of women.
He is also discussing ways the Taliban can show that they are fulfilling their commitments not to allow terrorists to operate in Afghanistan and threaten the United States. After the break, fatal car crashes are up in Nebraska. Experts say what you can do to stay safe on the road.
And coming up, Nebraska schools receive funding to keep up with the mental health checks for struggling students.
in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Faded breast to a full.
Here with Matt Radio, Stephanie Veloso here, and today we have a special guest, sweet little Kevin. Kevin, what does College World Radio mean to you? What a great answer. I love that.
Okay. First story published.
Got my check challenge up the check. College World Series.
It's been a couple years since schools globally shut their doors and went to remote learning. Since then, experts say students still suffer from the effects of the global pandemic. Reporter David Fester joins us in Studio A and finds in Omaha, teachers and administrators say more funding for counselors will help.
According to the National Center for Education Statistics, during the 2019-20 school year in public schools that made mental health assessments available for students, 61% of evaluations were provided at and outside of schools. In comparison, 29% were offered at schools only, and just 11% were provided outside the classroom. More than 1/3 of high schoolers say their mental health is suffering since the pandemic forced them to learn remotely rather than in the classroom. According to a recent Pew Research study, gay, lesbian, or bisexual students are more likely than their heterosexual counterparts to suffer from mental health stresses. In Nebraska, school administrators are hoping to combat these numbers after the state was awarded $546 million. Nebraska districts are using this money to hire more mental health specialists, expand social and emotional learning curriculum. The counselor at Millard North, Jody Turkelson, says that every state retrieved the COVID-19 money and filtered through the schools and used it how they saw best.
The money that school districts got depended a lot on the makeup of their school districts as far as whether it was inner city or more of a rural setting.
The additional help that Millard will be using the money for is Crisis Prevention Institute, support for students exposed to trauma, and the registered behavior technicians. Math teacher at Millard North, Eric Welty, says it was hard on a day-to-day seeing the emotional effect on students, and this is how Welty helps students out in the classroom.
Tell them that I'm there to help them and that I'm going to be patient with them, and that pretty much sums it up.
Welty says that the next step after helping the student out is either going to an admin or a counselor. Millard Public Schools will have more training coming later this year. Will include healthy classroom practices and alternative strategies for students needing more support. Back to you, Addison.
According to the Nebraska Department of Transportation, deadly crashes in Nebraska are up 23% this year. The average year-end deaths in urban areas since 2007 is 59. This year, urban areas like Omaha have already totaled 77 fatalities. Nebraska Safety Council CEO Eric Kepi says everyone is responsible for making the roads safer.
Driving is a shared responsibility. It is just not about me. It's about whatever I'm doing behind the wheel affects everybody else on the road, whether those be drivers, motorcycle riders, or pedestrians. We have a shared responsibility to drive better.
Kepi also says the Nebraska Safety Council provides defensive driving education on top of driver's ed courses. The journey for a child with cancer is never easy. According to the Nebraska Coalition to End Childhood Cancer, 70 to 90 children in Omaha are diagnosed with cancer every year. Since 2017, Special Spaces Nebraska has been designing and creating dream bedrooms for kids with cancer. The director of Special Spaces, Ronnie Thomas, says the organization has had instances where the child has unfortunately passed shortly after the makeover, while other children have gone on to thrive and even beat cancer.
All I know is that at the end of the day, we do these makeovers not knowing how long that child will have. Some children may have a week, they might have a month, they might have a year or the rest of their lives. And so we want to make that moment special for them.
The submission process can take 8 to 10 weeks, and in that time, the organization gets to know the child. Whether they like dinosaurs, princesses, or video games, everything is taken into consideration to ensure the child has the dream bedroom. Special Spaces has completed 12 rooms and are looking for more volunteers to continue creating more dream bedrooms. After the break, UNO offers a unique chance for students screenwriters to be pushed to the big screen.
Coming up, Omaha basketball shares their game plan as they train for the upcoming season.
I'm a veteran, when my battle scars like a letterman's. I done crawled through the mud full speed, so I
wouldn't underestimate me. Dundee, home to Warren Buffett, it's located west of Midtown Omaha, Nebraska. It's a place in Omaha where neighbors can work, eat, relax, and live it up, all within a few blocks. Come visit the neighborhood and see what Dundee has to offer.
IT is so broad that it's not just coding. It can be applied in so many different ways in different areas.
Technology impacts a lot of different things, a lot of different people. And if you can truly put yourself in their shoes and trying to solve that problem, just understanding that why is truly important.
UNO is one of those places where you can come and really get involved in whatever you want.
I ended up taking a bioinformatics class, and I ended up with an MD, PhD. I can do both the research and I can help people.
I chose the College of IS&T because it was my dream to become a data manager, and this college fits the best.
They're really the best people to be teaching the classes because they know and have worked in the field.
There's always a people factor, and getting people that are interested in your development is key to your success.
I never thought I'd be standing in the clouds looking down on the ancient ruins of the Incan Empire. I never thought I'd live among the street artists in Valparaiso. I never thought I'd make friends that would last a lifetime.
Adventure's out there, and as Mavericks, it's up to us to find it.
Stop thinking, start doing. Visit educationabroad.unomaha.edu.
Last season, Omaha ranked 353rd in KenPom's adjusted defensive ranking. Reporter Mitchell Kutcher has the story on how Chris Crutchfield hopes to turn that season around.
It's no secret that Omaha struggled on the defensive end last season, but with new players, Coach Crutchfield hopes to turn that around this season. For Omaha to have a better season, they have to get better on the defensive end. Forward Cole Rope says that the team focused on improving on defense right away this offseason.
Coach Crutch coming in, one of the first things he wanted to establish on this team is we want to be a defensive team, and from day one that's been just kind of our goal for the team, is that every time we play, we step on the floor, we're going to guard. We're going to guard, we're going to compete, and we're going to do everything we can.
Rope says part of the issue last season was that Omaha did not have enough size. To address this, Coach Crutchfield brought with him bigger bodies, guards, and guys who want to compete and defend the basketball. Bob Hansen, who was the basketball coach when Coach Crutchfield played here, said that Coach Crutchfield was a physical player and better on the defensive end than he was on the offensive end. For Crutchfield, he hopes that's the case this year for his Omaha Mavericks basketball team.
Then we got different personnel and guys that want to defend, and our team realized that the only way we're going to be a good basketball team, we just got to become better defensively, and we've been working on it, spent a lot of time on it.
Coach Crutchfield says that he has built his defensive strategy from prior coaches he has worked with. From his time at Arkansas with Coach Eric Musselman, he wanted his defense to be aggressive and athletic. Then from his time with Coach Dana Altman at Oregon, he learned he wants his defense to be versatile. For the Omaha News, I'm Mitchell Kutcher.
Omaha will start the new season on the road when they travel to Lawrence, Kansas to take on the defending national champion, the Kansas Jayhawks.
Kansas Jayhawks head basketball coach Bill Self and assistant Curtis Townsend were suspended on Wednesday for the first 4 games of the season. The Jayhawks imposed multiple recruiting restrictions as part of a fallout from an FBI investigation into college basketball corruption stemming from 2017. Self and Townsend were named the NCAA's notice of allegations that accused the school of 5 Level 1 violations tied to its relationship with Adidas. Self and Townsend will miss games against Omaha, North Dakota State, Southern Utah, and Duke. Assistant coach Norm Roberts will serve as interim head coach of the defending national champions. NFL franchise owner Dan Snyder has hired Bank of America to explore possible transactions to sell the Washington Commanders. Snyder isn't being forced to sell the team, despite mounting pressure to potentially remove him as an NFL owner. Snyder and the Commanders are being investigated by the NFL and the House Oversight Committee for financial misconduct and sexual harassment. A deal to own the Commanders could be worth as much as $7 billion. The league said Wednesday that any deal would have to go through the NFL's Finance Committee and would require an approval of 24 of the 32 teams.
Michigan State suspends 4 additional players in the aftermath of a scuffle in the locker room tunnel following Michigan's win against Michigan State on Saturday. Michigan State had originally suspended 4 players on Sunday during the total suspensions to 8 players as the investigation by the Big Ten Conference continues on the matter. All 8 players will be suspended indefinitely until the investigation is complete.
State Senator Anna Weishart proposed $1 million in state grants for films and TV productions for Nebraska filmmakers last year. CFS Studios is partnering with the University of Nebraska-Omaha to help grow the film community. Students enrolled in UNO screenwriting classes have a unique opportunity to have their screenplays read by local volunteer judges. CFS Studios will meet with the top 2 winners to discuss the next steps to produce their film. Assistant Vice President Nathan Else says the program is an opportunity for writers and talent to get real.
Take the screenplay, essentially the class puts it through development. We'll take it all the way through planning, pre-production, production, post-production, and then market it, and then have a premiere in a local theater.
The first cycle of scripts will start in mid-December. CFS Studios aims to continue the program at UNL in the near future.
After the break, this local clothing store offers an environmentally friendly and fashionable way to shop.
Coming up, downtown iconic location Jean Leahy Mall reopens to the public after reconstruction starting back in 2019.
The University of Nebraska at Omaha's bookstore is home to more than books.
The UNO bookstore accommodates all students' needs with phone and laptop repairs at the iFix UNO station or free residence hall delivery. The bookstore, located in the Milevale Student Center, is full of Maverick merchandise. Find sweatshirts for chilly Nebraska days or cozy UNO mugs for every coffee fix. Shop anytime at unobookstore.com.
The media landscape is vastly different from the past. Conglomeration and consolidation have changed the skill sets required to succeed. Journalists must not only know how to conduct research, interview, and write stories, but they also have to know how to shoot and edit the stories they tell. Likewise, creative media professionals must know how to interview, research, and write the stories they shoot and edit. In the School of Communication, we require students to gain experience and proficiencies employers are seeking. The two hardest mediated genres to produce are live sports and newscasts. Thus, once our students are taught the basics, they are given opportunities to improve the abilities at these genres. Capstones 1 and 2 feature the culmination of skill sets. Once students produce the Omaha News, they can use it in their demo reel to show their skills. From here, students can go anywhere.
Families gathered at Omaha's Jean Leahy Mall this weekend to celebrate the peak of the fall season with a festival called It's Fall, Y'all. The event featured fun for the whole family, including trick-or-treating throughout the park. As daytime activities wrapped up, a projection and light show began, followed by an outdoor movie screening. After being closed while undergoing renovation since 2019, Jean Leahy Mall is the first completed branch of the Riverfront's transformation. Attendee Tremaine Toussaint says that she appreciates that Jean Leahy always has new events.
I like the family environment, kid-friendly, inexpensive. And then I like the different events around the park, like the food trucks.
The space is designed to be a fun, safe, and inclusive destination regardless of the time of year. The Riverfront's seasonal programming will continue with the Thanksgiving lighting ceremony at Jean Leahy Mall on November 24th. Stay tuned for more holiday events on the Riverfront's event calendar.
Over 6,000 people gathered at the Mid-America Center for the annual 3-day anime convention this October. Anime Nebrascon is Nebraska's largest and longest-running anime convention. Nebrascon started back in 2004 in a small Omaha hotel with about 300 attendees and has since grown large enough to be hosted at the Mid-America Center. Iowan content creator Mira has gained over 18,000 followers on TikTok because of their cosplays. Out of the many conventions they attend yearly, Nebrascon is the one Mira looks forward to most.
I've been cosplaying since summer of 2020 when COVID first started hitting. I'd say it is worth going all 3 days because you can see so many different cosplayers and so many different cosplays.
The most popular event of Anime Nebrascon is the cosplay contest. Attendees can enter in the contest to show off their handmade cosplays, anime skits, or dance routines. The Anime Nebrascon Anime Convention occurs in late October annually and plans to host occasional one-night-only events throughout the year.
A local clothing store is providing Omaha fashion enthusiasts with affordable vintage and modern statement pieces, all while promoting sustainability within the community. Reporter Stephanie Veloso shares how the business accomplishes this through a renewable cycle.
The Omaha fashion scene maintains its uniqueness as local businesses like Scout Dry Goods and Trade provide affordable options for high-end looks through a buy-sell-trade process. According to Scout's website, returning one clothing item back into the circular economy extends its life by an average of 2.2 years and reduces its carbon, waste, and water footprints by 82%. Fast fashion brands like Fashion Nova, Boohoo, Revolve, Pretty Little Thing, and Forever 21 all score less than 10% on the Fashion Transparency Index. Owner, operator, and founder Kelly Valentine says Scout's goal is to promote alternatives to fast fashion.
Our mission is to keep items in circulation for as long as possible. We accept donations to where we have clothing swaps, $1 sales, and we also run, it's a completely free street store in North Omaha in collaboration with Heart Ministries.
Valentine says she thinks of her business as a curated thrift store filled with top vintage and name brand picks. Scout employee Cadence Roman has been with the business now for 3 years and says they continue to find new ways to promote sustainability.
Bringing in your own bag can be more sustainable that way. We do digital gift cards, digital receipts, all of that kind of stuff, and we do store credit through digital as well.
Valentine says she wants her business to provide a shopping experience that is easy, affordable, and on trend with excellent to new level of quality items available for customers to choose from. For the Omaha News, I'm Stephanie Veloso.
Scout Dry Goods and Trade is hosting a clothing swap event on November 11th. During your next closet cleanout, Kelly says she hopes people consider giving Scout a try. Coming up next week, reporter Jamie Harvey shares the story of an Afghani refugee who is currently seeking asylum in the United States. In Afghanistan, Mudra Bakarama was a teacher with multiple college degrees. Today, he works at Walmart and serves as a liaison for other refugees still entering the country. In August 2021, as you may remember, the United States withdrew the last of its troops from the country, resulting in the Taliban's reclaiming of power. That same time, Bakarimi was on a plane to the United States, while his parents and 6 siblings were sent to other countries throughout the world.
War, separate family, war, separate friends, war, separate a person from hometown, and war, separate the feeling, and war, separate the laughs, or separate everything.
Bakarimi had questions for the Deputy Assistant of Security of State, who was on UNO's campus yesterday. He says his concerns about al-Qaeda's influence in the country's new administration, as well as Chinese influence, weren't addressed. Still, he plans to continue to press the U.S. government regarding its role to establish peace in his home country. That's all for today. Join us again next week for more news and entertainment in the Heartland.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at UNO, the Omaha News, or find our website for even more news and stories at UNOOmahaNews.com.
From all of us here at UNO Television, thanks for watching.
Omaha.
The complex was condemned by the city in January for numerous safety reasons.
We are truth tellers and award winners.
They process and recycle approximately 100,000 tons of material.
We are a community of strength and a team of big dreams. We are the Omaha News, where the people are the story.
It is the longest running Omaha-based statewide television program on the air today. Hi everyone, I'm Kathy Wyatt, producer and host of Consider This. Now in our 25th season, we wish to acknowledge those who have made this educational journey possible. Our guests, underwriters, student crews, the Knowledge Network, the University of Nebraska at Omaha, and of course, viewers just like you. Thank you for watching.
Nearly 3,000 student athletes competing in 19 varsity sports from 9 institutions. Compete for nationally ranked teams to become academic All-Americans and NCAA champions. Nearly 100,000 students and more than 800,000 alumni celebrate their schools as they rise to reach the summit. The Summit League, where tomorrow's leaders reach the summit today.
There's a unique educational experience right here in Omaha. With access to top-rated programs, in-demand degrees, and a worldwide community of graduates, UNO prepares students for life, wherever it may lead. From Omaha to Italy to Uganda to Japan, Mavericks are working in communities around the globe. So where will a degree from UNO take you? UNO, access to exceptional, access to the world. Learn more at unomaha.edu.